All right, let's rock and roll. We're gonna start off like we did on Tuesday with those big old arm circles all the way up and around, and then the other side. Really focus on your range of motion here. We're going back, fingers all the way up, spread the fingers at the top. One more each side. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. Then let's come all the way forward. Big ranges of motion. Let's do one more per side. Then we'll give ourselves a hug. A lot less hugs with this coronavirus. Then the opposite arm on top. Think squeeze and really open up the chest when we bring the arms open. Alternate what arm is on top. One more on each side. Then arms overhead. We're going to reach, really reach from that right fingertips all the way down the side of the body and up on that opposite toe. And then reach to the other side. Alternate. Here we're warming up the body. We want to go at our own pace. You need to go slower, that's fine. Let's not go too quick yet. We're going to pick up and do a little bit more cardio towards the end of the class here today. It's a little bit opposite of what we did on Tuesday. Let's do one more each side. Then plant those feet and we are going to twist and reach across. So reach through the torso. When we reach, we are going to rotate on that opposite foot. So we want to twist through the torso, twist through the hips and reach across. And then the opposite side. Let's do one more each side. Then we're going to stay on the left side. We're going to bring that left arm overhead, so up on that toe. Then that left arm, bring it across. So we're going to go up and across. Up and across. Exhale as you come up. Exhale as you come across. Really focus on your range of motion. Don't get going too fast and forget about that full range of motion. So you do not have to follow along with me. You do not have to be on the same beat as me. Go at your own pace and listen to your body. Let's do one more up and one more across. Then the opposite side. So that right arm comes up and then twist and bring it across. And up and twist and bring it across. Make sure you are pivoting on that toe so we really get the mobility through those hips. One more up and one more across. Let's bring your shoulders up and squeeze. And exhale, drop them down. Up and squeeze. Exhale, drop them down. Up and squeeze. And exhale, drop them down. Then forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. One more time through. Forward and back. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth and stop those arms at shoulder height. Small circles in one direction. And the opposite direction. One more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth, come all the way down with those arms, and we are going to come all the way down onto the floor. We're coming down on our back. So I'm going to turn to the side. On your back, feet are flat on the floor. Arms come out at shoulder height. So make sure you have enough space to where you're not hitting the wall with that hand. Strong pelvic tilt. When you're here, we want to relax the shoulders down, try to pin the shoulders down to the floor, and then hold that pelvic tilt. So press that low back down to the mat and drop the knees over to the right. Head looks left, and then bring the knees to the left, and head looks right. So we're just alternating, bringing the knees here. Make sure you exhale and pause on each side as you need. So if you need a little bit more of a hold on one side, if you're feeling a little bit more tight, you can pause a little bit longer. That's okay. And again, exhale as you reach across, as you bring the knees across. Let's bring those knees back to center, a strong pelvic tilt. So press the low back down, pubic bone up towards your heart. Squeeze the abdomen. Arms can stay out by the side, keeping the core nice and tight. We are going to alternate bringing the knees in. So the butt stays down, strong pelvic tilt, and we are going to lift that left knee up and then bring it back down, and then the right knee up and down. So here we're focusing on keeping a nice strong midsection. The body is not moving. We're just bringing the knee up and back down. Make sure you keep that low back down. Hold that pelvic tilt. Let's do one more each side. And then bring the arms long by your side. Now we're going to bring, I'm going to scooch down a little bit because we're going to bring those arms overhead. So strong pelvic tilt, bringing that right arm, palm is in, all the way overhead, thumb is towards the floor. And now try to reach the floor with your thumb with a straight arm. If you do not have the mobility or that range of motion, that's okay. We're just kind of loosening up the shoulders here. We want to work on your range of motion. Then the other side. So alternate here. Make sure you have one arm down on the floor at all times. And keep that core nice and tight. Let's do one more each side. And we can release. Now from here, we're going to go right into your bridge. So feet are flat on the mat, a strong pelvic tilt. Exhale, lift the hips up nice and high. And at the top of your bridge, we are going to pause. We are going to focus on keeping your legs parallel, knees in line with ankles. Abdomen is tight. Squeeze the butt, pressing through the heels of your feet, but keeping the toes down. And then we are going to slowly come back down. 15 bridges. Exhale up, inhale down. Pause at the top. Make sure you hold that pelvic tilt. That protects your low back. Squeeze at the top. Focus on your body here. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Make sure that you're pressing through both heels, that core is tight. On your fifth one, we are going to hold up nice and high and pause here for 30 seconds. So when you finish your 15th one, we're going to pause right up at the top and squeeze. Make sure you keep breathing, pressing through both heels evenly. Pull the belly button to the spine, squeeze the glutes. We have 5 seconds. And release on down. We are going to roll on over to your right side for your clamshells. So here, hips are square, shoulders are square. We don't want to round forward. We want to make sure that the shoulders stay in line. Abdomen is nice and tight. Then we're going to lift that left knee up and bring it back down. 15 clamshells here. You want to go nice and slow. And when you finish 15 on this side, we are going to flip on over for 15 on the opposite side. I'm going to turn this way so you can still see me. Feet are stacked, knees are bent, hips are in line, shoulders are square. Pull the belly button towards your spine, and then we are going to lift up and down. This is my last one. And we're going to release on down after you finish that 15. Then we're going to do that sequence again, starting with your bridges. So take your time, finish up, but we'll go through with 15 bridges and 15 clamshells on both sides. So when you're ready, we'll go back on through, strong pelvic tilt on your back, up, squeeze, and down. So remember to go at your own pace, listen to your body. You can get 10 done and you feel that that's good for you today because we haven't been working out as much, that's okay. We just know that we need to build off of where we were today. Again, when you finish those 15 bridges, you can roll on over to your side. 15 clamshells, so the same thing. Hips are square, shoulders are square, abdomen is tight, and then just lift up and back down. And when you finish one side, you can come on over to the opposite side. Focus on form. Like I said, if you can only get 5 in, then that's perfect, as long as your form is good. The form needs to be perfect. I'd rather you do 5 perfect, a 5 with perfect form, rather than 15, but then they start to get a little sloppy. So just be mindful of how you look and what your body is doing. I lost count. I get talking and then I lose count. Let's do 2 more-ish. So keep going if you're not done. If you have finished, we are going to stay here on our backs. Pull your knees into your chest and just rock your knees side to side. Relax the low back. Let everybody else finish if they're still going. And when you're ready, we are all going to flip on over to your stomach. This is where, before you flip, if you have a water bottle next to you, you can grab a sip of water. We're going to go into that plank to begin with. So 30-second plank. Forearms we know will be parallel. We want to make sure that the elbows are in line with your shoulders. We come up on the toes. We want to make sure that the back is nice and flat. it's important. I'm going to demonstrate first and then I'll start the time. So it's important when you come up that when you're here, that our butt's not in the air. We want to tilt the pubic bone towards your heart, tailbone towards your heels, and relax the shoulders down. Okay, so we are going to hold that position. So make sure the butt's not up. We want to tuck the tail and really protect the low back and the hip flexors and work the abdomen. So we're going to hold that plank for 30 seconds. So everybody up and hold. Tuck the tail, make sure you are breathing. Now again, same thing's true for the plank. If we get 15 seconds in and your form starts to slip, I'd like you to come down, right? We don't want to feel pain in the low back. We don't want to hold the plank with poor form. We want however long you can hold with that perfect form. We have 3 seconds. And release. Push on back into child's pose. Walk the hands forward, relax here. Then we are going to come up to that tabletop position, hands and knees to that bird dog. So square hips, square shoulders, right arm is forward, your palm is facing in, left leg is long. I'm flexing my foot, I don't know if you can see. So pull the toes towards your shins. And we are going to hold 30 seconds aside. Let's begin. Right arm forward, left leg back. Make sure that left wrist is in line with your shoulder and shoulders are down. We don't want to squeeze the neck. Relax the neck, shoulders are down. Hold here, nice and strong. A neutral bend in the neck. We have 5 seconds. And release. Push on back into child's pose. And come on up for the opposite side. So now the left arm is forward, right leg is back, and let's begin. That static hold. Now that right wrist is in line with that right shoulder. Shoulders are away from ears. Pull the belly button up towards your spine. Hips and shoulders are square. Left palm is turned in. Flex the right foot, and we're holding. And release. Push back into child's pose. We are going to do that one more time. So starting with that low plank, 30 seconds. Again, really focus on that form, focus on tilting that tailbone. 30 seconds, low plank, let's begin. So focus here, shoulders down, elbows in line with those shoulders. Drive the elbows towards the toes as we squeeze the tummy. We have 5 seconds. And release. Push back into child's pose. Take a second. And back on up to that tabletop position. Back to your bird dog. This time, if you choose, we can bring the elbow to knee and extend long for that dynamic bird dog. 30 seconds aside, right arm forward, left leg back. Let's hold first and hold. So right arm forward, left leg back, full extension. Then if you want to make it a little bit harder, we are moving, bringing the elbow and knee in and then extending long. Elbow and knee in and then extending long. Focus on that full range of motion. I don't want 30 of these in these 30 seconds, just a few. That's time. Push back into child's pose. then the other side. Left arm forward, right leg back, and let's begin. So hold first, make sure you have that form. Then if you're ready, you can bring the elbow and knee into center and then extend long. Make sure you keep breathing. 5 seconds. And release. Push back into child's pose. Take your time here. From here, we're going to come on up to our feet. So make your way up to standing. Grab a quick sip of water if you'd like. I don't know about you, but my space is a little bit warmer than the gym. So when you're ready, we're just gonna get into that step touch. I'm just gonna stay here for a little bit, wait for everybody to get ready, get up off the floor, grab some water. When we're ready, we can get into that step touch. We're gonna get a little bit of cardio in, get the heart rates up a little bit. Now for this portion, I really want you to listen to your body. There's no need to really pick it up if you're not ready. Get the movement first and pause and listen to your body. If you have it, you can pick it up a little bit, but listen, go at your own pace. Side to side. I'm gonna move back a little bit. Because what we're gonna do is we're going to travel. So we're going to take this and step forward, 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 and then spin around and come back, still coming forward. So whatever your space, if your space is, you know, longer, whatever direction, you can turn to the side if it's longer that way. We just want to move a little bit. It doesn't matter how many steps we're taking. I'm taking about 4 per side. Just get a little bit of that movement in. And once you get that, we can start moving the arms. Work on the legs first, then add the arms. Last time, forward and back. Now we're going to march it out here. So just march. Now make sure your feet are quiet, right? We don't want to slam the feet on the floor and shake the whole house. Nice, quiet feet. Now take your heels to the front, so left and right. Pump the arms if you need to. Otherwise, let's get the feet first and then add those arms. One more each side, then tap it to the side. Again, get the feet first, then add the arm if you are ready. One more each side, then we're tapping it back. So when you tap it back, we're squeezing the butt cheeks. Make sure we're standing up tall, right? Back. When you have it, we can add those arms forward. The higher we bring the arm, the higher we also bring the heart rate. So if you want to get the heart rate up, try to really swing those arms up. And if you don't really want to get the heart rate up too much, then we just need a little bit shorter of that range of motion. So be mindful of what you need right now. One more each side. Now we're gonna stabilize on that right leg. A soft, natural bend in that right knee, heel and toe on your left. So make sure here we're pressing through that right heel, shoulders back, abdomen is tight. That left heel comes forward and toes back. Heel forward, toes back, forward and back. So we're balancing here on that stable leg. We are tapping the heel to the front and the toes to the back, but we're focusing on control, right? It's a very soft touch with that left foot, and most of our pressure is going right through that right leg. So you should feel that right quad, hamstring, glute, especially if you get a little lower, makes it a little harder. Let's switch sides. Now stabilize on the left, heel and toe on the right. So again, we're really balancing here, even though we are tapping that right heel forward and right toes back, but most of our pressure is pushed right through that left foot. And if you need it harder, get a little lower. And release. Kick it out, march it out. Again, soft feet with that march. Now, so with the march, we're just lifting our feet up a little bit off the floor. So we're gonna start here, just a little bit off the floor. This is our base, this is our recovery. So from here, I want you to pick it up and go as fast as you feel comfortable with your fast feet. So we're here, and then we're gonna pick it up with those fast feet. So fast feet, quick, 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 quick. So however fast you feel comfortable. We're staying in place, right? Staying in place. Then slow it down. And pick it up, quick feet, fast feet. Pump the arms. And slow it down. We have one more time through. Fast feet, let's pick it up. Quick feet, pump the arms. And slow it down. Now, we're gonna bring the heels to the front. Take a couple deep breaths in through the nose here, out through the mouth. Then we're gonna step over to our left here, because we're going to take 2 lateral steps to the left and then 2 to the right. So it'll look like this, 2, to the right, your right, my left, and then 2 to your left, my right. 2 and 2. If you have a bigger space, you can do 3 and 3, but don't do too many more than 3 and 3, because we want to stay relatively even. When you have this side to side movement, you can add the arms. Now, but what I want you to do is make sure you focus on the square hips. The feet are staying parallel. And if you have that movement, you can add the arms forward. So we're moving the legs to the side and arms forward. Legs to the side and arms forward. If you feel comfortable here, we can pick it up to whatever speed is appropriate for you. If you feel you need to slow it down and bring the heart rate down, we can go slower. If you need to bring that heart rate up, get those arms up overhead. Up to you. Listen to your body. You can do a combination of the two. Do 1 time through slow, 1 time through quick. Any combination. Let's go 1 more time through, 2 to the right, 2 to the left, and march it out. So we're gonna march it out, pump the arms. Stand up tall, shoulders down and back. And from here, we are going to bring your legs wide and march it out wide. So left and right, You do not have to bring the knees up too high. If you feel comfortable bringing the knees up high, then that'll get the heart rate up a little bit more, as long as the feet are wider than the hips. So your choice, knees up or not as high, but wide feet. Pump the arms when you're ready. Now, from here, we're gonna pause. Let's take your right leg, left leg, bring the left leg in, then the right leg in, left leg out, right leg out, left leg in, right leg in, left out, right out. So in, out, out, in, out, out. When you feel comfortable, you can pick it up. In, out, out. Left, right, in, out, out. Again, get the legs first, then you can chop the arms however you need to. Mine just kind of go with the flow. And pause to the center. Now we're going to lead with the opposite leg. A little bit of a brain teaser. Now take that right leg, take it out, left leg out, right leg in, left leg in, right out, right in, left in, out, in, right, left, out, in. One side is going to be easier than the other for most people, not everybody. Let's do one more out, one more in, and march it here. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. 2 more. Last one. Bring the heart rates down a little. We are going to go into your squats. So if you have a couch or chair, we can do those sit to stands like we do in the gym off the bench. So, or you can just do a regular air squat in the air, whatever you choose. We're going to talk about the squat mechanics real quick. So if you need a sip of water or to catch your breath, just pay attention here while I go over what the squat mechanics are. So shoulders back, chest is up. From here, I'm turning to the side so you can see my butt. We are pushing your butt back. Weight is pressed through the heels, chest is up. Now my weight is going through the, pressing through the heels, and my butt is going back with a nice flat back. Then I'm coming up and I'm squeezing my butt. So down and up. Make sure when you come down, the knees don't come in or out. We want a little external rotation on the knees, so we do want to push them out slightly, so we are working the glutes, but we do not want them to come in. Okay, so shoulders back, chest is up. We're going for 10. If you are doing a sit to stand, you're going to find a seat that's about 90 degrees where you're tapping your butt, your knees are about 90 degrees, and you can come down and then back on up. So if you are tapping your butt, make sure we're not sitting all the way down, taking a load off, and then we're like, uh-oh, we gotta get back up. So you really wanna make sure that you're working the legs the whole time. So chest up, down, and up. We're going for 10, or however many your body says it's appropriate for you today with perfect form. So again, if you have poor form with the squat, you can hurt that knee. So we want to protect the knees, butt back, and only do however many you can do with that proper form. I believe that's 5-ish. And when you finish 10, we're going to find some wall space. Now I have a window, I have the middle between my windows that I'm going to use. So find a wall that's appropriate for you. So from here, we are going to hold on to that wall. We are going to hold on to the wall with your right hand. So pretend that I have a wall here. That right hand's on the wall. I'm pressing through my right heel, my right leg. From here, we are going to lift that left knee up and hold. When you are holding and when you have your balance, you can take that right hand away from the wall. So you can stay close to the wall, try to balance here, keeping the core tight. If this is a challenge for you, stay here. If you would like to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can take your head and look to the right and to the left. Or you can close your eyes. You can release. Kick it on out. We are going to go on over to the opposite side. So take that left hand on the wall. We're stabilizing through that left leg, pressing through the heel, soft bend in the knee. Bring the right knee up or opposite knee and balance. When you have your balance, take that hand away from the wall. So we want to stay relatively close to the wall. So, if you start to wobble, you can hold onto the wall or put your foot down, whatever you need to do to stay safe. Now, when you're ready, if this is a challenge for you, stay here. A little bit harder, we can take our head and look to the right and to the left. Or a little bit harder, we can close our eyes. And release. We are going to come back over to that right side. Hold on to the wall if you need to. If not, you can just balance. We're coming up 10 calf raises. So come up on the toes and back down. Up and down. Squeeze the calves. When you finish your 10, I guess you don't really have to spin around, but I'm going to have you spin around because it's fun to look at the other side of the house. This time, we are going to, I'm going to turn this way so you can see. We're going to turn the toes out just a little bit. 10 more calf raises, but this way the heels are in and the toes are out. So you're just going to feel it a little bit differently in the calf muscle. And when you finish, you can take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Again. One more. We want to make sure that your heart rate is down before we come back down to the floor. So grab a sip of water, make sure that heart rate is down before we come back down to the floor. But if you're ready, come on down to the floor. So from here, we are going to come on our backs. Strong pelvic tilt, core is tight. Arms are going to come up, wrist is in line with your shoulder. Keep that pelvic tilt. So again, pubic bone towards your heart, low back is pressed down to the floor. Our knees are going to come up, flex the feet. So the knees are up at about 90 degrees. This time through, the arms will not move. We are going into your dying bug. I'm gonna grab my timer, 30 seconds. So from here, strong pelvic tilt, arms stay in place, and we will alternate tapping the heels, moving from the hip, tapping the heel down and up. 30 seconds, let's begin. So right heel comes down and up, then the left one comes down and up. Your core is tight, Squeeze the tummy. We have 5 seconds. And release. Hug both knees into your chest. So we are going to do that one more time. If that was difficult for you, I would like you to keep with that option. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, we will add those arms. It's a little bit more of that brain teaser. So I'm going to scooch down so I don't hit my couch. Arms up, legs up, pelvic tilt, core is tight. So when I bring my right heel down to the floor, I am going to bring the opposite arm overhead and then back, and then the opposite and up. So one arm is always pointed up towards the ceiling as we move the alternating legs. 30 seconds here, then we will stretch. Let's begin. Core is nice and tight. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Focus on that pelvic tilt. You can pause at the top and reset if need be. Make sure you are breathing. Pull the belly button in towards your spine. We are more than halfway home. We have 10 more seconds. And you can release. Pull both knees in towards your chest. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. Relax that low back. Now, take your fingertips, place them on top of the knees, and we are going to circle those knees in one direction. And pause, and the opposite direction. And release. Return your feet down to the floor. Bring your arms out at shoulder height. Drop your knees over to the left. Take your head to the right and hold. A few deep breaths here. And the opposite side, bring the knees over to the right and take your head and look to the left. One more. Bring your knees back to center. Now that butterfly stretch, so we're dropping the right knee open to the right, left knee open to the left, bottoms of the feet come together. We want to try to push the knees down towards the floor and open up the hip. Keep the core tight. Just settle into this stretch. Take a few deep breaths. And release. Bring the knees back up to center. Pull your right knee in towards your chest. Hug the right knee in. Now you can either keep your left knee bent, or I am going to extend that leg long and just circle my right foot Big circles, as big as possible. Either direction. And then circle in the opposite direction. And release. We are going to switch. So we'll start off with our right knee bent. That foot is on the floor. Pull the left knee in. And you can either stay here or extend that right leg long and circle your left foot. Big circles in one direction. And the opposite direction. And release. Bend both knees, both feet flat on the floor. Strong pelvic tilt. Take that right ankle, place it on top of left knee. And you can either hold here, push that right knee away from the body, try to keep the hips square and shoulders square, flat on the floor. Or to increase that stretch, we are going to reach behind that left knee and pull the left knee in. Still pushing out on that right knee with your right elbow. And release, uncross, opposite side, take that left ankle on top of right knee. And again, you can either push that left knee away from the body or reach behind your right knee and pull that right knee in. But if you're pulling the right knee in, you're still pushing that left knee away from the body with that left elbow. And release. I'd like you to push yourselves up to a seated position. Extend both legs long. Now, depending on mobility here, you can start off with your hands behind your back like mine. The key is we want to keep the legs flat. We don't want to bend the knees. We want to keep the knees down. So flex the feet. Toes are up towards the ceiling. If you have the flexibility, we're going to walk our hands forward. Lead with your chest as we come down and try to touch towards your toes. You do not have to touch the toes. I don't care how far you touch as long as the knees are down. Some of you might have to hold here, and that is okay. We want to feel this stretch down the back of the legs. Try to, once the hamstrings release a little bit, try to walk the hands a little bit more forward so we really get that stretch. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Get a little deeper. And release. Now we're going to come on over to your right side. On your right, straight legs. And then we are going to reach towards that left knee, left ankle, and pull that heel back towards your butt. Excuse me. Pull that heel back towards your butt. Hips are forward. We want to feel this in the quad. So we want to try not to get stuck here. Really push the hips forward and pull the heel back. And release. Opposite side. So roll on over to the left. Straight line with your body first. Then when you're ready, reach on back for that ankle and pull the heel back. And when you release, you can release. And when you release, we are going to roll forward, child's pose. So hips over heels, push your butt back. Walk your hands over to the right. And when your hands are to the right, firmly place that left hand down on the floor. Make sure your head is between the arms, and you should feel this down the left side of your back. And the opposite side. Back to center. Tabletop position. Cat-cow, tuck your chin. Round the back, press the back up, tuck the tail. Then lift the chin, sway the back. And release, sit however you are comfortable. You can stand if you'd prefer. And from here, we are just going to roll the shoulders back. Relax the shoulders down. Take your head and look to the right. And to the left. Back to center. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Make sure you have plenty of water.